Our inspiration today is comforting dishes that our mum used to make, you know, those that really delight the senses and bring back some of those childhood memories. Aldo Zilli will be sharing his mum's secret lasagna recipe.
I just want to say thank you now to my mama for teaching me this. Thank you, mama.
Juliet Sear will be baking up a storm in her kitchen by reinventing her mum's favourite lunch, a fabulous quiche.
I remember when I was little and we used to make this with my mum, she'd let us do the pricky bit and we'd try and make lots of patterns. All the fun we would have in the 80s.
I'll be adding a dash of Caribbean sunshine to these sumptuous coconut and lime fairy cakes. Yeah, boy. And country duo The Shires will be rustling up their midnight pasta feast, along with an exclusive jam session celebrating their new album. But first, I'm taking you back to one of my mum's absolute classics. Ho ho! We're talking about a dish that, when you walked in the door and you smelt it, you knew it was Pepe's brown stewed chicken day. And it was so special. Why? Because it was done over a period of 24 hours. What I mean by that is there was marinating going on. We've got some lovely chicken thighs here. We want to marinate it. We want to introduce some flavours. Look at the flavours I've got here. On this plate, you can see I've got ginger, I've got the garlic, I've got soy sauce, Worcester sauce, a little bit of sweet paprika, along with some brown sugar, and as my mum would say, fresh thyme. All right, and so in there, let's get all of this going in there, the garlic and a bit of thyme, brown sugar. Look, quite a bit. Look at my hand here, guys. I put that in there, brown sugar. That's actually going to help with the caramelisation of the chicken. All right, and with the thyme, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a chop, light chop like that. You can use a bit of dry thyme if you like. Remember, it's so much stronger than fresh thyme, so you won't need as much. So I'd probably say, what, I've got a teaspoon there, so you're probably going to need about a third of the amount of that if you're going to be using dry. OK, that in there, a little bit of a stir around. All right, that's OK. This is one of the great things about living in the Harriott household as you grew up. There's always a bit of marinating going on, always something in the fridge that's taken on a bit of flavour. And it's meant that come the next day, you were in for a great mama treat. There you go, guys. Look at that. Look at that. You can see it's taken on that beautiful brown tinge there. Can you imagine leaving that in your fridge for 2 or 3 hours or overnight? Remember, always take it out and bring it up to room temperature before you cook it. Let me wash my hands and we'll crack on. OK, now, if over here, I've got my chicken already browning in the pan. I've had to turn that off so I could go through that with you. Look at that, look. Can you see what I mean? The sugar there. Instantly it goes into the pan, it hits that heat, that sugar starts to melt, it starts to caramelise, starts to release a little bit of that juice, and you go, yeah, ready to come out now. But all that lovely caramelised flavour in the pan there, that's not going to go to waste. We're going to put our onions in there. We're going to put our peppers in there. In with the tomatoes. That's just a couple of tomatoes that I've diced up. Fabulous. That's beautiful. All right. And then tomato ketchup. Bit of that going in there. That's OK. Lovely. And then I've got a little bit of allspice going in there. All right, look at that. Already cooking down. The tomatoes are beginning to lose their juice a little bit. Let's juicen it up even more now with some stock. All right, that's just stock going into there. That will all cook down, all right? That's in there like that. And then I've got my thyme, I've got my bay leaf, and I've also got Scotch bonnet pepper. The Scotch bonnet pepper goes in whole, so it releases that lovely flavour and partly some of the heat, but you don't chop it up in there. In with the thyme, in with the bay leaf, and then pop your chicken back in. Beautiful. And you bring that up to the boil, then we're going to simmer that down and let that cook for about 30 or 40 minutes, all right? Now, what about that rice and peas, then? If you check that out there, look at that. I've got my spring onions that I fried off in a little bit of butter and a little bit of oil, all right? And then to that, a little bit of garlic, all right? That goes inside. Just stir that round a little bit, give that a little bit of a shake. OK, then to that, in with our rice. OK, long grain rice here, guys. And we're just stirring that round into the buttery spring onions with that little bit of thyme just to coat the rice. And then to that, we've got our kidney beans. Kidney beans going in. All right, there you go. And what about here? Look, that's blocked creamed coconut, OK? It's a block of it. And all I've done is I've just grated it up here, and I'm just going to pop some of that into there. All right, that gives it a lovely creamy texture. All right, let's just reduce that heat a little bit. I've got the Scotch bonnet pepper I'm putting in whole. Remember we talked about that before? All right, and just a little bit of... There you go. Once again, that spice just going in there. In with your water. That's all right. And a good pinch of salt in there. Once you bring that up to the boil and you reduce it, you're going to leave it there for about 20, 25 minutes, all right, until it absorbs all that lovely flavour. Hey, check this chicken out. Have a look at this. Look, I think it's still ticking away there. Look at that. Oh, wow. That is Pepe's brown stew chicken there, boy. Yeah, man. Childhood memories come flooding back when I smell it like that. Anyway, let's serve it up. I'm going to do that in a nice one of these lovely dishes that I think just give it a bit of an authentic feel. There's your lovely rice and peas. And then make sure me get plenty chicken. That's what my dad would have said. Make sure me get plenty chicken. I think we need just a little bit of chopped parsley. And this is something perhaps my mum wouldn't have done, but it's a bit TV, really, and a bit parsley. Hey, there you have it. Oh, Mum, what about this then? I think you'd have been proud of me. There you have it. Pepe's brown stew chicken with rice and peas. A little later, we've got Italian stallion Aldo Zilli doing a sensational, comforting Italian classic. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. But first up in my kitchen, I'm delighted to have Ben and Chrissy from the Shires. Hey, guys,
hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Delighted to have you here.
It's great to be here.
You've got all this food in front of you. Where did this recipe come from?
Well, this is a classic Italian recipe. My mum would make this when I was little, and now it's just like the perfect comfort food for me. And when I come back late from a show, you know, it's sort of like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock after a festival, just make this quickly. It's basically the way of getting garlic and chilli into my mouth.
Tell us, what are you going to do here?
So this is pasta olio e aglio, which is oil and garlic, and I like the chilli, and some parmesan, which is very un-Italian, as you probably might know. It's like the wrong thing to do, but I love it. I love parmesan.
I love it too. I love it too. A lot of people say you shouldn't put it on fish things sometimes, but you just a little bit of, you know, kind of jazz things up. So how do we start? What goes into this?
So boiling water, bit of salt in there, just helps the pasta cook.
OK.
And then we're going to get this pan on. This is your stove. I don't know how to do your stove.
No, there's no problem at all. Yeah, just that one at the end here. That's OK.
OK.
Yeah. All right, then just turn that on. That's quite a high heat. It's quite fierce, that. So think about that, because sometimes when you want to fry onions or garlic, and if it starts to burn a little bit, it goes bitter, and you've lost the dish, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I've done that a lot of times.
I've done it too. I think we've all done it. We've all done it. But, you know, it's
we can start again, though, can't we?
Oh, well, No, this is live TV, Ben.
I was low. Can't burn the garlic. So we start with the garlic.
OK. Now, Chrissy, whilst he's preparing all of this, tell us, how did you guys get together?
Well, the two of us met on Facebook. Ben put out a post saying that he was looking for a female country singer, and we literally met up the next day, pretty much.
Yeah, we got on straight away. We started singing day one.
Yeah.
It was really, really instant.
And it was exciting to find somebody else that liked country music, because I felt like the only person that liked it at the time, and then you were the same. It was like, how do we go about finding somebody else that likes country music?
Yeah, but isn't it right, though, Ben, that you weren't always a country music fan? It's something that kind of inspired you to go on and be more creative with your words.
Yeah, definitely. I was sort of trying for a long time. And then when I just discovered country, it was like, this is what I want to do. So, yeah, I went into country, and that was just like coming home for me. Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. I loved it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, I'm looking forward to coming home comforting food. So we've got the pan on here. Shall we get the pasta in now, or is that very quick cooked pasta?
Yeah, it should take 5 or 6 minutes. So I'll get it in now, because this sauce is so quick. It
Lovely.
takes a few
All right, then.
seconds.
Beautiful. Just grab a heap of that and, yeah, crack
I always
on.
put too much in, always.
Oh, it's always.
never
I
have too
like that
much.
when bits of pasta fall over the place. It's kind of a way of saying I'm cooking. Yeah, just drop that in there. Beautiful. Shall I give that a little bit
very
of?
much.
I'll keep light. Right.
So I've chopped this garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. I like quite a lot of olive oil because it's basically your sauce.
Yeah.
In the dish. It's quite hot, isn't it? It's quite hot, that pan.
Yeah, it is. We can always turn it down or just pull it to one side.
Yeah.
I think there's always that tendency of thinking, oh, well, you know, beautiful. Now, Chrissy, how amazing you two get together, and then within no time at all, you have a top 10, the best UK country album ever.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Like, you know, we started off in just tiny little venues. You know, we were getting ready in the toilets backstage, and we were, you know, loading all of our own gear into the shows and stuff. And now we're performing at like the Royal Albert Hall and to thousands.
Turning up in limousines.
Well,
The Royal Albert Hall, we couldn't even enjoy it because we were doing something for the royal wedding the next day. So we came off stage, had all this champagne waiting for us, and we got rushed into a car. We had to go to Windsor because there was like an embargo. You couldn't go into Windsor after a certain time. So the rest of our band just drank all the champagne, and we didn't even enjoy this whole moment.
yeah,
of Royal
we just had a
Albert Hall.
pizza on our lap in the car.
What a wonderful way of saying that we played for royalty. It's really Hey, guys, this is beginning to smell very kind of, you know, that sort of classic Italian aromas. You've got the, as you say, you've got the chilli in there, the garlic. Oh, you put the anchovies in now.
Yeah.
They've melted down. It's amazing the way they just melt into the pan, don't they?
I love it, and they give that kind of salty sort of flavour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you said you're a fan.
I've actually never had them before. I'm not a big fan of kind of fishy fish, so
Yeah.
no, I've always kind of shied away from them. So this will be my first time.
I love it. I love cooking it. You know, I incorporate. I even put it in my lamb dishes, and sometimes, when I'm making a big roast lamb, I love that type of thing. It really is. It just melts away. You don't realise. It just adds a touch of saltiness without that kind of powerful fishy overtone. You know.
Yeah, and this just smells like home for me. This is like walking the door and mum's
Smells so good.
cooking garlic. Thank you very much. You know, she wouldn't have the chili. She doesn't like the chili. She's like, I love the chili. I've got like Jamaican heritage as well, so I like a bit of spice. But
Yeah, boy. So do I. Right, should we drain off our pasta?
Well, I go straight from the pan to the.
Okay, you just lift it out.
Yeah,
with the,
because the water sort of creates a bit of sauce as well.
All right, I'll stand here.
that's-
Okay, ready to go? Yeah. That's it. Okay.
So.
All right then.
Straight in.
Okay, so no drain. This is lovely, isn't it? Eh? Beautiful, straight in there like that.
I literally had this last night. I came back late home, and I was just like, 20 minutes, it's such a quick thing. And like I said, that flavour of the garlic and the chilli, I just
Lovely, and that is very Italian. I mean, my friend Gino De Campo always said pasta to the sauce.
Yeah,
Never the sauce.
Yeah,
to
because
the pasta.
all the flavours in the pan, isn't it? All the flavours there.
Yeah,
so,
lovely.
I'll just give it a bit of a swirl around.
Brilliant.
So I put a bit of black pepper in there as well.
Yeah.
A bit more.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited for
And
this.
I'm glad to say you guys are going to do a little performance for us today, aren't you?
We are, yes. We usually have the guitar with us to do a
Yeah.
little sing-song, so yes.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. I'm dead excited to have them in my kitchen. Hey, not only are they singing for me, they're cooking for me too, the Shires, yeah.
Cool, got a parsley in there as well.
Fabulous.
This as well.
Thank you. My sous chef.
Yeah.
All off, great.
Yeah.
I'll just go straight into the
Yeah,
bowl.
please do.
Cool.
Do anything you want straight in there.
There you go.
Lovely.
So like I said, I'm going to put some parmesan on there, which is very
just
very
do it.
un-Italian. It's great. A bit of cheese.
Superb. Oh, all those smells are coming through. I know the garlic, the chilli, they're such big, sort of, you know, big, bold smells that they literally fill the house, don't they?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well,
My
thank you
point.
very much indeed. Hey, we're going to have a bit of a taste call. Pass it down here, son. Pass
There you
it
go.
down here. Oh, wow. Look at this. That's the only problem with pasta. You've got to keep twirling it round and round and round. So I won't be talking to you for a second.
I've never been this nervous, though. It's
So
like...
you can,
Just as
you can
Mum
pick up your
made it.
guitar and get,
Oh, yeah,
get
sure.
playing whilst I get eating.
It's the verdict.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good. A bit of Dolly. Should we have a bit of Dolly?
Yeah.
Dolly and Kenny.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. Nowhere in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another.
Hey, and your new album's out already?
Out already?
Wonderful, and I think you look stunningly beautiful on the front there. Your food's stunningly beautiful, your voices, everything about you guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
It's
having us.
I'm really, really happy, and what a pleasure it is having you guys here, man. But now it's over to my mate Aldo Zilli, who's got a fascinating twist on a classic lasagna.
Well, today I'm going to make something just like Mama used to make. Okay, it's a lasagna, but not as you know it. It's a lasagna made with pancakes rather than pasta. So the first thing to do is to make meatballs. Okay, so we got some pork mince here. This is very lean pork mince. Then we're gonna add some breadcrumb, some cheese, got parmesan, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese there. We've got some basil, 1 egg, pinch of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And in you go with your hands, okay? Basil is a very important herb for these meatballs. My mother used to have loads and loads of this basil growing everywhere. Okay, so there you go. You got a little bit of olive oil here into the palm of your hand, like this. Pick up a little bit of meat, okay? Then you go like this, and that's how small they have to be. And this is called timballo terramano. Reason? Because it's a timbal, it's not a lasagna, and it's terramano is because Teramo is the town where I grew up. Make sure you have a little bit of flour so they don't stick. My baby meatballs are done. Let's cook them. We've got some guanciale. If you can't find guanciale, pancetta is fine. This is pork cheek with some garlic. The reason the garlic is big is so that you can take it out if you don't want to eat a big lump of garlic. This tomato sauce, I made it with tinned tomatoes, a little bit of garlic and basil. That's all my mum used to do, and just cook it down, cook it down, cook it down. Don't want to get too crispy, okay? There's a little bit of flour in there as well, that's all right. As I said, this is tomato sauce already made, so if you're adding your tins, you need a lot longer to cook this. Basil, bit of pepper, and a pinch of salt. And now let that simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. Well, as for every good lasagna, you have to make a good white sauce. So got a bit of butter melting in here, some milk warming over there. My little tip is nutmeg. I love white sauce with nutmeg. Now let's have a couple of spoons of flour, a whisk. Make sure you cook the flour down. Yeah, I don't want the raw flour, okay? And you add your milk. And then as soon as it starts thickening, you stop. Ainsley will love this. Okay, it's time to build. Now, these are crepes, very, very thin. A bit of flour, milk, and egg. That's all you need. So the cheese sauce goes down the base. Okay, in you go, and you start building this amazing dish. Okay, then you go in with the meatballs, another layer of pancake. In you go with the cheese sauce again. And now is the time to add your extra cheese. So it's mozzarella. But my little tip here is a little bit of this egg wash in the middle. So when it rises in the oven, it looks like a souffle. Now, on top of the mozzarella cheese, I've got some ricotta salata, which is salted ricotta. This is the closing stages. Okay, so you close the sides. Cheese sauce on top now. I just want to say thank you now to my mama for teaching me this. Thank you, mama. I'm sure she sees me every day doing all her recipes. Now, to finish this, a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top, a little grate of this wonderful ricotta. For me, this is my mama in a dish. 15, 20 minutes in the center, 180, 190 degrees. There you go. Okay, well, 20 minutes have passed. Let's go and get our lovely timballo. Oh, look at this. It's almost too beautiful to eat it. It's a table dish. You put it in the middle of the table for your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, your neighbors. I hope that everybody can come round for this. Even Ainsley. You're gonna love this, Ainsley.
Hey, cheers, Aldo. That was brilliant. Love the idea that he was using pancakes instead of pasta, a little bit of egg to create that lovely buoyancy, and of course, meatballs instead of the ragu. These are the type of things that you only pick up from your mama, don't you? Eh? Stuff that's just passed down through the generations. That was lovely. Now, I'm thinking, what could I serve? What could I serve to accompany that lovely lasagna? What about a bit of garlic bread? Very simple to do too. Got my flour here, self-raising flour. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of the baking powder. All right. Now, you could use a bit of yeast here, but the idea, of course, of using yeast is getting quite springy. We just want a little bit of buoyancy going on in our garlic bread, not too much. And to that, I'm going to pop in some yoghurt. Yeah, there it is, just some plain yoghurt. Now, there's normally for this quantity of flour, I'm talking about 200 grams of yoghurt going into my plain flour. But the thing about flour is it's all so sensitive. You know, one day you could pop in, 200 millilitres of water, and the next day you only need 150 because each flour is a little bit different. It really is, guys. So think about that when you're looking at your recipes. Just kind of working that together. And then to that, a little pinch of oregano, dried oregano here. If you want to use fresh, by all means do that. You'll get some lovely green flecks going through there. This is slightly drier, so the flavour's a lot more intense, all right? A pinch of salt. There we are. And that's working that in again. There we are. And you can see that now. I'm thinking, oh yeah, a little bit more of that yoghurt. And we just want to bring that together now. I'm going to get my hands in there now. And we it's like when you're making a dough, all right? So it should be very sort of pliable, quite sort of soft. Look at that, it's coming together. Really, really lovely. All right, and I haven't used all the yoghurt, which is a perfect example of what I was talking about. All right, there it is. Look at that, slightly sticky, not too wet though. But the real beauty of that, of course, is I've got some flour here. So I'm going to sprinkle that on my board. There we are. I'm just going to knead that for a little bit. All right, there you go. Simple, isn't it? Really, really easy. That's okay. No more than that. I'm just going to roll that out now. Swish that around. Talk about a quick flatbread. Look at this. Just stretching, pushing and pulling as you go. Now, what about garlic bread? I don't know about you. My memory of garlic bread is we used to have one of those big chest freezers. You know them? Really big chest freezers. Half the size of this table. My mum used to put a tablecloth on top with some flowers. Quite often They were the little plastic flowers, but they did look good. Do you know what I mean? As long as you wipe the dust off them every 3 or 4 months, they look really they look really, really lovely. And inside that freezer, there was garlic bread that we pick up from the freezer shop. Remember that? The old garlic bread? You just take it out, shove that in the oven. And, well, this is my take on a quick garlic bread because that's what we used to have in our freezer. Let's get our pan heated up now. All right. There you go. Just want to get a little bit of oil into my pan. And I'm not fry in oil, I'm going to sort of wipe that down a little bit, OK? So just wipe that around the pan. All right, that's going to get nice and hot. And we can take our bread like that and pop that straight into the pan. Yeah. Simple as that. How quick was that? Can you imagine that? Getting the kids, come on, get a bit of yoghurt out. There we are, a bit of flour, a bit of baking powder, sprinkle a few herbs in there, let them have a little bit of a play. These are kind of the skills that I acquired as a kid because my mum allowed me the freedom just to do what I wanted to do in the kitchen. And I'm still doing it all those years later. 63 years later! You see what's happening there now? Let me show you. Take that, look at that. Look at the edge. Look at the edge of that. Can you see? Can you see how that's puffing up a little bit there? OK, that's great. All right, just turning that over. Now, what about our other pan here? Well, very simple. Into that, I'm going to put the butter. Now, what we want to do here is we just want to melt the butter. All right, you don't want to brown it or anything like that. So once it starts to melt like that, you can just turn it off and the residual heat will just melt it down beautifully. And I'm going to grate my garlic straight into there. There you go. Beautiful. And our parsley, just going to chop that up. OK. That garlic's beginning to just, if you like, gently sizzle in that butter. There we are. And we're just going to get that parsley. Pop that in there now. Beautiful. A little bit of salt and pepper, just a touch. Yeah, lovely. Hey! Tell you what, Aldo, I hope you're enjoying this, huh? Why every time I see Aldo, I want to have a little bit of a drink? That's what it should be like, isn't it? When you get together with your mates. Look at that. That's really looking good now, isn't it? Look at that. Absolutely perfect, beautiful. What am I going to do here? I'm just going to score it like that. Can you see that? I know it's hot in the pan, but I'm just going to score it like that. Don't mind that at all. A little bit of the old melted garlic butter going on the top there. Does that look gorgeous? Oh, absolutely perfect. Got a few more that I've baked in here. So, another one of those on top. Look at that, guys. Look at that, beautiful. OK. There's my beautiful garlic breads. Oh, you can hear that lovely little crunch going on there. What can I say? What can I say? There we are. How quick was that? Absolutely lovely. A little bit more of that. And to finish things off, because I like things a touch spicy, sprinkle the can. And there you have it, my quick fire garlic bread. And now Juliet shares one of her favourite recipes growing up, her mum's quiche.
Yeah, hi Ainsley. I'm so excited for this recipe. This is my ultimate favourite family recipe that my mum used to make me, and it really reminds me of my childhood. And it's quiche. So the first step is to make our pastry. Add some plain flour into my food processor. And I'm going to add a pinch of salt. And some very cold diced butter. So that looks about right. Perfect. Add 2 egg yolks and keep hold of the egg white. Obviously you can make meringues with this, but I'm going to be using it to brush over my pastry when it's baked. And pour a little bit of water in. I'm going to keep my eye on it and I want to see it just come together. Lovely and crumbly and buttery. I'm actually going to be baking this quiche in a rectangular quiche tin. My mum used to make it every week, and my sister was used to ask for 1 clonk and another clonk and another clonk, and they come in kind of squares. So there we go, and now I just need to wrap this up and place it in the fridge. You want to leave it to rest for at least 30 minutes. Now it's just been in the fridge for just over 30 minutes, so it'll feel nice and firm, and just roll out now. Just sort of push it. If it cracks a little bit, don't worry, just push it back together with your fingers. So I'm just going to roll it over here like this and just bring that towards me and straight into the tin like that. There we go. And just use your fingers just to kind of encourage it into the kind of crevices. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to put it back in the fridge to rest for 30 minutes at least, and then we can get on to the baking. Fab. There we go. That's lovely and chilled. So I'm just going to use a fork just to prick, just to prevent any air bubbles and for the pastry to stay flat in the tin. Remember when I was little and we used to make this with my mum, she'd let us do the pricky bit and we'd try and make lots of patterns. Oh, the fun we would have in the 80s. Pricking pastry. Got some baking parchment. So now this is going to be baked in the oven at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to remove the paper and the beans and allow it to crisp off for a further 5 minutes. Now it's time to make the fillings. The first thing I'm going to do is fry off the bacon. This is actually vegetarian bacon and it's really good. You wouldn't know the difference. The pastries have 5 more minutes. It's lovely and crisp. Now this is a top tip. I've got the egg white that I had from earlier, pastry brush, and when the pastry is hot, brush it very thinly all inside the case, and that will create a kind of seal, a barrier from the filling, so it'll stay really crispy. Now I'm going to trim off the edges. So I'm actually going to use one of these, a vegetable peeler, just to shave off the excess pastry. You can use a knife, but this is kind of a good way of doing it, just very gradually, to avoid any breakage. So, and also it's really fun. It's quite satisfying. And I can tell you, eating all these little bits, that's a bit of a bonus. I love eating these, sorry. So that's all ready now, just need to get the filling sorted. So I've got some double cream, and I've got 6 eggs. I'm going to use 4 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. It's going to make it a little bit richer. So this is my mum's recipe. Black pepper I like a lot in my quiche. Now it's time for the quiche assembly. So first off, I'm going to add half the cheese all over the pastry base. This is a lovely strong cheddar. I'm going to add my bacon. Now I'm going to pour in the cream and finish off by topping off with the last of the cheddar. I can't wait to eat this. So the last thing I'm going to add, a few chives. That looks fantastic. So that's ready for the oven now. I've turned the oven down to 170, so it's slightly lower. I'm going to bake it for about 30 to 35 minutes until it's lovely, dark golden and puffy. Wow, look at that. It's been in the oven for about 35 minutes. It's still got a nice little wobble on the filling. So there it is, my take on my mum's quiche recipe. Can't wait to see what fillings you're going to try.
Oh, that was wonderful, wasn't it? And what I really loved about it was that she used facon instead of bacon. The idea of being introduced to a new product is really, really nice, especially when you don't know about it. And I didn't know anything about it before. Anyway, now that we've had our taste buds titillated with all those wonderful savoury dishes, how about ending it with something a little bit sweet? My mum's absolute classic coconut and lime fairy cakes. Very simple. First, you take your butter, and you want to get it up to about room temperature, all right? Look at that. If I put my finger in there, you can see I've diced up the butter, but it's a little bit soft. And then to that, we can put our sugar in there. I'm using just a white caster sugar. You can use golden caster sugar if you want, but I particularly like the white because it's the effect that you get on top of the fairy cakes afterwards, OK? And we're just going to start to beat those up. And we want to keep this going until it gets quite pale. And once you get to that pale stage, let's just switch that off and show you what I'm talking about. Can you see that? It really is quite pale. Then we can gradually start incorporating our egg into it. But I'm just going to just crack an egg straight in there. And then once again, back in with your beaters, nice and slowly to start with. You might find that it starts to curdle just a little bit. Don't panic, and if that does happen, then you can just put in a tablespoon or so of flour. That's really working beautifully at the moment. We'll go a little bit quicker. Lovely. Here we are. That's it. Let's pop our other egg in there now. That's it. Let's get rid of those shells. Yeah, I'm always saying tidy up as you go along. It really is worth it. Once again, back in with our beaters. Starting off very slowly. If you put it on too fast, you'll guarantee that it will curdle. So just... right, there you go. OK, look at that. You can see the consistency that I'm talking about there. That's what you're looking for, all right? Now we can start to put in our flour. Just sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And that's it. Again, start off in that. Just keep that going. Followed by our coconut. That's desiccated coconut. Lovely. Here we are. All right. And then 1 level teaspoon there of baking powder. That's going in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just loosen that a little bit with just a touch of milk, OK? Maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. Just put in 1 to start with, and then some lime zest. Now, this really just comes alive with this lime zest. Perfect. And then back again with our beaters. And it really is that simple. OK, let's just blend this around now. So really pulling all of that into it. And you can actually see the type of mixture that I've got here now. Look at that. Nice and soft, lovely soft texture. And we can start to transfer that into our cases. I'm going to bring this up here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I've got my spoon here and a little bit of hot water. You know, tap hot water is absolutely fine. What that enables me to do is just to pick that up, and it's sliding off the spoon. Can you see that? And just keep going. And we're just filling these up. That's it, beautiful. And that's it. Now we're going to pop those into the oven, 180 degrees centigrade, gas mark 4, for about 20-25 minutes on the middle shelf. Then when we take them out, put them onto a wire rack to let them cool down before we pop that frosting on top. OK, now for that frosting. Glass bowl, I've got some mascarpone here. I'm just going to take that and put that into our bowl. All right, give it a little bit of a mash. And then to that, we've got the icing sugar. Sprinkle that in there. That's OK. Just work that together. And dare I say, a little bit more of that lime zest again. Oh, can see my mum in the kitchen now putting it. You know, we used to have that little song in the Caribbean. You put the lime in the coconut stick. it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, mix it all up. Hey, and I'm putting the lime and mascarpone on top of the fairy cake. Yeah, boy. Yeah, we like that. All right, give that a little bit of a beat. Now I'm going to put this mixture on top of my fairy cakes. When they come out of the oven, you put them onto a wire rack and you allow them to cool down. Otherwise, your mascarpone is going to kind of run everywhere. You don't want that. Let's top them up. Now, we're not finished with these yet. Oh, no. We're going to give that a little bit of a spread. And then you get your little palette knife here and just kind of a little bit of a dab, all right? Don't quite want to take it to the edge, all right? So just a little bit of a dab there like that. And when I see this, actually, it reminds me of when we were kids. It's funny how you go for the one with most of the icing on top, don't you? Hey, there's something about that, isn't it? It's like a bit of lemon drizzle. You want that with a bit more lemon drizzle on it, a bit more drizzle. That's my piece. I've got some flaked little bits of coconut here, and you're just going to take some of those, and you're creating almost like a shard on the top there, like that. Can you see that? Just lovely. Look at that. Oh, fabulous. God, this takes me back to my childhood. Mum, what you want? Mum, can I? What you want, Mum? Oh, please let me. All right, then. There's my coconut and lime fairy cakes. A tribute to my late mother, who would be absolutely delighted not only to prepare these for me, but to give me the bowl to have a good old lick. There you go. Oh, that one's tipped over. I don't care. Go on, squeeze them on. Who cares? There you go. And to make it even more, shall we have a few bits of coconut just on the plate there? That's it. That's the best bit. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Coconut and lime fairy cakes just for you. Go on, have a go. Get the kids involved. What a wonderful trip down memory lane, reminiscing about Mum's classic dishes. It really was so joyful. Chicken stew, rice and peas, lasagna, homemade garlic bread, quiche, and fairy cakes. Soothing indeed. Well, that just goes to show, Mums always.